Well, that's the thing. I had nobody, though, to share it with. The downside of getting your first kiss at 23, you don't have to tweet that part. Is that you can't tell anyone about that. I mean, it'd be like being great at t-ball in college, or finishing like The Wire or The Sopranos now. It's like, no one cares. Everybody's moved on. No one wants to talk about The Wire with you now. And that's really it. I mean, everybody's moved on, and I couldn't even tell her. I especially couldn't tell her. I mean, that would have freaked her out to no end. So, and that's really all I'm saying about her. I got a late start. What do you want? I mean, Jerry Seinfeld once said that you act on stage the number of years that you've been doing stand-up. In other words, if you've been doing stand-up comedy for 2 years, you are a little bit like a 2-year-old, and you stumble around a little bit, and you sometimes form meaningful sentences, but not usually. If you're 10, you've been doing it for 10 years, you ask interesting questions from time to time. If you've been doing it for 50 years, you're like a wise old man on stage. And so my theory is maybe it's the same thing with dating. I didn't start till I was 23, and I'm 37. So 37 minus 23, I'm 14 years old. Sounds about right. That is only a few years behind guys who started in high school, but there's a pretty big difference between an 18-year-old and a 14-year-old. Just ask the law. So with Shivani in college, I wanted to take the plunge and lean in, or as I've always been into Nike, just do it. But I didn't do it. I wanted to take a page out of my physics textbook and convert potential energy to kinetic energy. For all the nerds in the room, take that moment where anything could happen and actually make it happen. But I didn't. And with my first kiss, I didn't really do it. I mean, I kind of had her do it. But with Anjali, it was on. A mutual friend in Cincinnati told me that she was really into me, and I was, no way. This girl is like so, no way. She's beautiful, completely out of my league, no, not a chance. She goes, no, she is, and so I got her phone number, I called her up, and I set up the most amazing date. Now guys do, like, prep everything. It's just like, oh, the farther out of your league she is, you have to do that. So if the guy has no plans for you, that's the law. Hey, your issue, not mine. Okay. So, I set up, I had an itinerary for this girl, and then she comes over to my place, and we sit on the couch, and we talk for 3 hours. We're so into each other that all this time passes by. We don't even leave the apartment until finally we get hungry, and we go across the street to the supermarket, and we get strawberries and whipped cream. And this is a true story. We come back to the couch, and I lather them up, and I feed her strawberries on our first date. And I walk her down to her car, and I said, can I get a kiss? I think my voice cracked just like that too. And she goes, well, I like hugs better. She hugged me and she drove away. Dude, seriously, like, really? I mean, the friend zone after the strawberries and the whipped cream and everything, like, how do you get friend zoned after that? And I just decided, if I'm going to be the tragic hero, at least I'm going to be the kind that gets some, And so on our second date, I asked her to come up with me to Mount Adams, which is this hill in Cincinnati, and it offers beautiful views of this Midwestern town. Fast food, chili joints, and fat people, and mostly from the chili joints. And so we're sitting there under the stars, and it's beautiful, and she's beautiful, and she starts telling me all about her ex-boyfriend. Yeah, buzzkill, totally. So I was like, I can't. No, you know what? No, I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna hit the reset button, and we're gonna move over. So I took her by the hand, and we sat down on this like great stone wall, and we're talking a little bit, and we're getting a little closer, and I'm about to do it, and I noticed this like group of guys in this parking lot, and they're laughing really loud, and I'm afraid that maybe they're laughing at me, and so I'm like, Debbie, and but I'm like, no, you know what? No, I kissed somebody. I'm kissable. I can do this. I can totally do this. So I saw her hug and I raised her a kiss. I did it. I just did it. I think I was wearing Nikes at the time, and so it began. Anjali, My first relationship, my longest relationship. First girl who told me she loved me back. First girl I took home to my parents. My first breakup. Anjali is my super ex-girlfriend. Nothing gay about that. Okay. So we dated from right before 9/11 into the beginning of 2005. George W. Bush's first term, just for context. And we became adults together. We bought a house. I bought a house. She helped me decorate it. We bought our first cars together. We started working at the same company. I was working at Procter & Gamble, P&G, Punjabis and Gujaratis. And it was great. It's the world's largest consumer products company, if you don't know of P&G. They make Tide and Era and Bounce and Downy, the entire laundry aisle, and they make Duracell and Olay and Gillette and Bounty, Always, Tampax. Oh, that's right. I lost my virginity to Anjali. Love the association. Okay. Yeah, that's right. I remember we were in bed, Anjali and I, and she dropped some very subtle hint. She said something like, "I want you to do me so bad." I read between the lines on that one, and I mean, it was about time. I was born when Gerald Ford was president, for context. So, I'm at Walgreens condom shopping, and doing that thing where you kind of make sure no one's in the aisle. Okay. And then I pick up a box. I'm an optimist, and I take him to the front of the store, and I look for the checkout girl who looks like she might have the most sexual experience. Okay, her. And I figured, she'll understand. And so I get the condoms. I take them back to the apartment, and we do it. And needless to say, it was pretty awesome. Not so much the losing your virginity at 25 part, but the losing your virginity to a 10 was definitely pretty awesome. And I wouldn't even really call it losing my virginity. I mean, I threw it away with both hands. Very clever. Very clever. Actually, right about the time, I had gotten more into stand-up comedy because of jokes like that. And a few years before this, Jane had got me into stand-up, and my brother and actually my funny uncle and my friend in third grade had made me a funny person. But Jane had introduced stand-up to me, and my brother Rakesh said to me, he goes, "Why don't you enter the funniest person in Cincinnati contest?" And I'd never written, I'd written some material, but I never thought this would be a stand-up. When I entered it, I made the semifinals, and the next year I won it. And the prize was you got to become an MC. You got to be a host for a weekend, the first guy that comes out and tells some jokes, and I never took the weekend. I just never took the prize. I just wanted to see if I could win it. And that was a few years before Anjali. And right about this time, I had started to get more and more serious about comedy, ironically. And the manager of Go Bananas Comedy Club in Cincinnati finally said to me, because I kept going back like every 6 months, and he goes, "You need to, decision, in or out, you're taking up stage time, are you going to do it?" I go, "Yes, fine, I'm in to stand up, let's do this." And what ended up happening is Anjali and I just grew apart. I mean, that's the downside of becoming adults together. You can become two different people separately. And there's a difference between supporters and believers. Supporters are your loved ones. They love you, so they support you, and they kind of have to. But believers, it's different. It happens in their eyes. You can see it over time, and suddenly it's like, oh wow, you're actually going to do this. And Anjali supported me. She thought I was hilarious, because I am. But she didn't really believe I could necessarily become a stand-up comic. And the thought of ending up with a comedian as a husband scared her to death. And I found that totally fair. I was literally an amateur at the time, and that was that. I remember she would say things to me like, you know how you just drift apart, right? And she would say something to me like, hey, maybe it's a timing thing. Maybe if we met a few years from now, it would be different. And I remember thinking, no, timing is a lie. If two people are right for each other, the timing has nothing to do with it, and that's ludicrous. It's got to be something else. And it was. something else because I had developed a herniated disc in my neck. And I just stopped trying to be a man altogether. I stopped working out. It precluded me from doing certain things, like moving boxes, keep it clean. And I guess I just got comfortable. And I guess I always thought in a relationship that's what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to get comfortable. Maybe even dance to Kesha comfortable. That's the whole point of a relationship. Show someone who you really are, right? Well, she just stopped seeing me that way, and we stopped being intimate. And I think I'm the only person I know who got friend zoned while in a relationship. And January 2005, we had our last kiss and a hug, and she drove away. And I saw her one other time though. Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle. He made his triumphant return to the stage after his bizarre excursion to Africa following his self-extrication from Chappelle's show. You probably remember this. It was all over national news. He left and he went to Africa, and he was coming back to the Cincinnati Funny Bone. You gotta love the names of these comedy clubs. Cincinnati Funny Bone to do stand-up comedy for the first time since he got back from Africa, because he's from Ohio, an hour town like an hour north of me in Ohio. And I go up to the general manager that week, and I'm like, I'd love to open for Dave Chappelle, that'd be awesome. And she goes, no, no, he's bringing his own guy, there's no way. And then, so, all right, fine, so that she friends on me. And so I went to the club with 10 of my friends, and it's a minute before showtime. And she comes up to me, the general manager comes up to me and she goes, he didn't bring anyone, you want to do 5? And I'm like, dude, just give me 2 minutes. She goes, you don't have 2 minutes, you got 1 minute. Do you want to do it or not? And I'm like, yes, give me the mic, I'll do it, let's go. And I had opened for Dave Chappelle a few years before this at the University of Cincinnati, my alma mater, the school that I actually graduated from. And I had been doing material for 30 seconds in front of Dave Chappelle, and I got booed off stage. By 1,000 people, okay, at my college that I could not now transfer away from. So, 5 years before this, I don't know how stand-up years compare with dog years, but it was a long time. So there I was looking to redeem myself. It's a packed house. Everybody's yelling, bring him out, bring him out. It's Chappelle, very first show back from Africa, national news. I'm there with 10 of my friends, sold out. Anjali is there with her new boyfriend, and I kill because I'm hilarious. And the place goes absolutely nuts. Everybody goes crazy. And I really believe that the smaller we are, the bigger we dream. And so I clearly have some, larger than life fantasies. But I could not write bigger than that. That was pretty awesome. And right about that time, I started doing this bit in my stand-up act where I said the reason that Anjali and I did not work out was she was my first love. And I grew up watching The Price is Right. And you never bid on the first showcase. The first showcase is always like a lifetime of Panama Jack sunglasses and a chest of drawers. The second showcase is the new car, the trip to Hawaii. So that bit is funny because it's true, but it's not true because I didn't pass on Anjali. Anjali passed on me. And that was that. She got out of my life, and it was really hard at the time. I wish I had a better punchline to go here, but sometimes that's just life. Yeah, that was Anjali. What can you do? Please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more content.